This is the Oakwyn Podcast, featuring Morgan Brown and Michael Yu.
Welcome to the Oakwyn Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Michael Yu.
And I'm Morgan Brown.
And I'm the Podfather.
And we are here talking about warm leads.
Yes.
Are you guys warm right now?
I'm feeling, you know what? I'm feeling
like
a little
toasty?
Bit, you know, like the weather's
Toasty? Podfather?
Yeah,
toasty.
I'm feeling a little bit warm. Well, I'm feeling warm and fuzzy. Being with
Fuzzy.
you guys.
Aw, that's
it's
so
nice. It's really nice to do these pods, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's really
it is.
nice.
Yeah.
I think it challenges me.
How?
I think you should be challenged in your life every day, if you can. This is like a
Okay.
new philosophy I've been having. Is this a weird one thing?
No.
No?
Staying out of your comfort zone.
Okay.
Because I think sometimes, you're with your clients all the time. This is challenging because you're just letting it go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
know?
you're just like
Just
totally.
open bag. Like
yeah.
you guys are seeing us here.
Yeah.
For all.
Well, if you're not challenging yourself, you're kind of just
Yeah.
existing, right?
You're just existing.
You're just flowing through life.
So,
and,
what is
okay.
something you want to be challenged with? The next mountain for Morgan Brown.
I don't know. I feel like I don't know. What's your mountain?
My mountain right now is this health thing.
Yeah, you're still on the health
I'm on
kick.
this health, like, I want to really, like, before I turn 40 years old, which is coming pretty soon. It's
October.
coming in October.
What are we doing? Are you going to be away for that? Are you going to Mauritius at that time?
No.
Okay, good. 40 is a big time. We should have a big party.
I don't like being the center of attention.
I know. It's perfect.
So,
Challenge yourself.
Ooh, look
hey,
at that.
maybe
that's your next
Maybe
challenge.
Why don't we all go wait to Whistler? Kind of
I think Whistler is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't like Whistler?
I love Whistler.
That's what our kind of normal. That's our like my.
That's what you
That's what I
normally
always do.
Yes.
In my birthday, I go to Scandinavia.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a thing.
Yeah, I go up to the mountains. It's like it's off peak season, so it's really inexpensive.
Okay, I have a question for you. So you're saying health. What is so challenging to you about health?
Okay, so for me, when I first got started in real estate, I was actually like really into health and fitness. When I was growing up, I was always a really chubby kid, and I got up to 200. Like after high school, I got up to 235 pounds, which is pretty. I'm only 5'9". I'm not a tall guy, so it's like that was a pretty heavy weight. And then I really got into going to the YMCA, and I met a lot of cool mentors over there, and I started lifting weights, and it really helped to boost my confidence. And I actually got down to 175 pounds, and I was pretty like I could do lots of stuff. I could do like lots of pull-ups, and I could do like I was playing basketball all the time. I actually never was an athletic person growing up. I never was athletic growing up. I never played sports. And then I got into hockey, and I got into like basketball, and I started running, and
Yes.
and like I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm actually enjoying this, and I know that it helped my business, and then and I started in real estate, and then I gained a whole bunch of weight. So I've kind of been up and down and up and down and up and down, and then now since Sopha's here, and I'm like, I need to live a long time, and I think I've shared this on the podcast before.
Yes.
But I've now I'm all about longevity. I don't care about like big muscles and all the rest of that stuff. I care about like living a long time, having lots of energy, and like because I used to work out to like destroy my like I used to like do all these like there's these
It's
days
aggressive,
of
like-
squat day where
Oh
we
my
just do
gosh.
like
Squat
I-
day.
I would do like it would be like 200 or 300 pounds, and we have to do this 500 reps today.
Wow.
Or like we just do reps of this thing. Like I used to work out with football players and stuff like that at the Bird Coop, and they were all on steroids and stuff like that. And then they were like, today is pull-up day. We have to do 200 pull-ups, and then like
So that's where like because pain is challenging, right? But you're saying yours is actually just consistency.
now yeah. So like because I go up
Right.
and down, I go up and down. So like that's something that is a big challenge for me this year. That's really what I'm focusing my year on.
A challenge. And is there a target?
Yeah, I want to get to 180 pounds.
Okay.
I want to be 15%
Body
body
fat.
fat. I want.
How do you find that out?
I have a scale that has it.
Hey, I'm gonna come over and try it.
Yeah. I don't think it's very accurate. The most accurate is this. There's this thing that you like go naked into this like water, and they scan you head to toe,
That's cool.
and then it kind of shows your body fat percentage. Like
Yeah.
But then I'm like, I don't want to get scanned. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't want like some weird machine like X-raying me. So like I just was like, yeah, I'll just do this like scale thing. I think they count your electrolytes. I don't know. So there's that 15% body fat.
Yes.
I want to be able to do 10 pull-ups.
That's
like,
hard.
Pull-ups like without. I'm using a band right now, but just to do 10 pull-ups. And I had my foot and ankle issues, so I want to be
Yes.
able to run again. So I want to run for 30 minutes straight without stopping, which I haven't been able to do for a long time.
Yes.
So, and I enjoy running a lot. So
You used to run marathons when I first met you.
yeah.
He was running
Half
marathons.
marathons. Half.
But those were like intense.
That's a lot.
How are you
That's-
challenging yourself?
Well, yeah, this is tough. I was gonna say the same thing. I'm trying to get on the Peloton, and I got into like a really good rhythm with the Peloton and working out every single day because I also would like to be able to like, be able to hang out with my kids and not get exhausted and like stuff like that. And then I recently hurt my knee skiing, and so I can't go on the Peloton basically till the end of the ski season, till the end of the ski season. So
I feel you, brother.
4 or 5, 6 weeks, I think my physio guy said. So I'm like, what do I do? And so I'm looking into like the other Peloton classes now. Like I've done a couple boxing classes and like
That's
stuff
cool.
like that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
because you can still do that stuff, but
He's been going on like little retreat ones where you
Yeah,
just
I've been doing the scenic rides.
Yeah.
I've been
oh
doing
yeah,
that.
That's a
what
good
I'm gonna
idea.
do. That's what my physio
That's a
said.
good
Yeah.
He
idea.
said go on the scenic ride and like keep the resistance really low
Yeah,
and just
keep
kind of
the-
build yourself up.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
what I've been doing. I've been doing low and slow. There's this other podcast called the there's two, Huberman Lab, which is a really good podcast. Huberman Lab, and there's one called The Drive. Dr. Peter Attia. I sent them to Sean,
Oh.
and he talks about like zone 2 training, a certain like cardiovascular zone that you want to try to get into, that will help you with heart and lung function.
That's great.
So
Yeah.
That's
when your
great.
heart and lung are healthy, you're gonna have more energy. So
Yes.
I'm like, I want more energy.
I know.
So, yeah.
Because you really feel it like kind of, not to say this, but like as you get older, it starts to, especially when you have kids, it's like Quinn's running around everywhere and then Lennon's running around everywhere. You
Yeah.
feel like you're just like, oh my gosh, so exhausting.
Yeah.
But you should be enjoying those moments.
Yeah,
Like
totally.
my goal is
Exactly.
that I see this girl, what was her name? What's her name? Lynn, Judd Apatow's wife. What's her name? Give him
Mrs.
back.
Apatow?
No. Wife.
Madame
Her.
Apatow.
Her.
Oh, she's funny. She's really
so funny. What's her name? Leslie Mann.
Leslie Mann.
Oh.
So I
Okay,
see
yeah,
her.
She's funny, and she's actually quite like, I find her like
What?
I find her attractive.
She's very pretty.
Yeah,
She's 50 years
very-
old. She's gorgeous.
Yeah, she's like well kept.
She's literally my like golden egg. Like I watch her and I'm like, she's like exactly what I want to be like. But you know why? Because she's working out with her daughters and she's like, she's running with her daughters. She's going on trips with her daughters. And like I'm like thinking my kids, I'm like, oh, I want to be like keep up with them when they're teenagers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when they're on the bike and they're running, I want to run next to them.
Right.
So that's kind of cool that everyone's in that kind of train. But I think for me, it's like,
She really married down.
what? The best.
Judd Apatow, like
He's genius.
personality-wise, I think he's probably very high.
She's a 15
but
out of 20. Sorry, 20 out of 50.
Looks-wise?
But sometimes it's not about the looks.
Huh?
Sometimes it's not about the look. It's about the
know.
intelligent.
Thank God.
Intellectual. It's an intellectual capacity for both of them.
Thank
right?
God.
But her favorite I watched because her skin is just incredible, and she uses like the most drugstore product ever, like a very like
that's it.
cocoa butter, like drugstore. It's so funny. But her biggest thing is drinking water, which is the big thing. Drinking a lot of water all the time. Anyways, my challenge is just actually to grow mentally and to have a little bit more patience with myself and everyone else around me, because I think if I do that, I'll talk slower and I'll.
Why, are you not a very patient person in general?
No, I'm not a patient. I wouldn't say I'm like a super patient person, but I think it's just good to reflect on what this world is supposed to be for me. I think that's where I'm in my place right now. I'm in that mental state, if you haven't noticed, guys, that I'm like really in like high reflection. And it's because for the last year, I've had Lennon and our businesses and everything that I was just like, it's all
Go, go, go.
together. So lately I've had a little bit of time to breathe and just like sit with my thoughts and sit with what's important, what the next vision's going to be for the next 20 years. And I think that's really challenging for someone that's trying to also be in the moment all the time, right? So I don't know. That's my challenge. Warm leads, guys.
Do you have a challenge, Brayden?
A challenge?
Yeah.
My biggest challenge, well, aside from just like overall health stuff, is trying to be as good of a dad as I can to my kids, and that does involve the biggest challenge for me is, like you said, being patient. It's kids really, really, really try your patience. Like,
Yeah, especially when they're like 3.
oh my God, it's so
I can't even look at you right now.
hard to not like. To not like raise your voice at all, or like when they're doing things to specifically to like get your attention, yeah.
Right?
So that's a big challenge for me right now, and I am.
I think they're testing the boundaries.
Yes,
Yeah, because then you have to
100%.
teach them, right?
So perspective shift. So like, if they weren't testing the boundaries, you'd be really worried, wouldn't you?
You'd be really happy.
Yeah,
Really?
I'd be pretty calm.
I would be worried. I would be worried if my kids weren't testing the boundaries to like see how much they could, how far they could go, what they're.
But
to
some kids are
explore.
like that. Some kids are just not testing.
Yeah,
people.
some people aren't. Some
kids
people,
are just not-
some people aren't.
but
But
some
I'd
kids
kinda
are
be
like-
want my kid to kind of be like a little bit like.
Edgy.
You want a shit disturber, is what you want.
Well, I would want them to like. How do you put this? I want them to experience a full and really, and
less of a controlling.
yeah, full
Like to
adventurous
push.
life, and then and that requires you to push boundaries, and I think
That's
you-
true.
you've pushed boundaries in your life. You've pushed boundaries in your
I
life.
think that these boundaries are different because he goes to me. He's like, "Mommy, do you think you like jelly beans?" I was like, "Yeah, babe, I like jelly beans." It's like, "Do you think I like jelly beans, Mommy?" "Yes, I think you love jelly beans." "Do you think I can have a jelly bean, Mommy?"
Oh, so he's just gaming you.
I'm like, "You're gaming me right now," and I'm like, "Fine," no, and I'm like, "Well, no," and then I'm like, "We can have a jelly bean after we go on a walk," because I always take
Yeah.
Mike says, "Let's go for a walk," and then he's like,
right.
"I don't want to go on a walk." Then he goes to Daddy, can I have a jelly bean? Sean's like, "No, your mommy said because it's hard when you have 2 people,
Yeah.
right?" And I always rule. I'm like, whatever I'm saying is happening right here,
Wow,
and because you
that
kind of have
must
to.
be fun.
No, you have to, because if you don't, that's what happens. They play both of the parents
Yeah.
off on you, and then Daddy's like, "No, Mommy said already you can't." So if Sean said yes, you can have jelly bean, I'd be like, he said yes, then we have to agree with whoever said it first, right? Like you can't go back
Yeah, you
on
want
it.
that consistency.
You want the
right?
consistency, or else it's
Yeah.
not a team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very funny. But
Yeah.
anyways, that's the testing the boundary situation.
Yeah, it's fine that it happens, but does it have to be
All the
time?
time. Does it have to have 24 hours a day?
Yeah.
Daddy, don't turn off that light. Mommy, turn on that light. It's like, no. I'm getting you I got him like a
A clapper? That would be fun.
night bright. You know
What's
those
a
night brights?
What's a night bright?
It's like, like light bright night brights.
I always wanted you remember those commercials for the clapper? Clap on, clap off. The clapper. Remember that?
Yeah.
I don't know if I remember that.
I used to watch like so much late night TV.
Yeah, why you you
couple
really did.
couple reasons. Okay, so there were more TVs in my house. Like we didn't talk very much in my house actually.
Like
growing up.
talking?
Talking. We never talked.
That
Nobody
explains
talked.
so much.
But we had TVs in every room. And like my
So that was a source of entertainment for everyone.
TV
and it
was
righted
the
everyone
holy
else.
grail of the U household. And TV was always on. Even at our dinner table, we would watch TV. And like it was always on, and there was a TV in every room.
Yes. What was
And-
on?
I don't know.
Anything.
Anything. Didn't even matter.
Okay.
And my parents, even when I was a kid, would fall asleep with the TV on.
Yeah. Arlene's family sounds very similar to, because they
Yeah.
have TV on.
They have TV on
all the time.
And like we would grow up with a TV on nonstop. We would sleep with the TV on. Like even as a
Yeah.
even, I remember being in the crib with my brother, like changing, like my parents were asleep and we'd prank them by changing the channels on the TV.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
I'm like, that's like one of my earliest memories. Like,
It's so
like
funny.
all these
Does
late
it calm you
Hmm?
when you listen when you have
now
TV
I'm
around
like
you?
traumatized completely. So like now, like that's
No
why I don't
TV.
watch TV and I don't watch anything. I don't like screens. I'm like on the other side.
Yeah, you're
of the
like
spectrum.
that's
I'm like,
too
"Ugh,
much.
No,
Yeah.
too much.
Yeah. So it's not calming. It actually
No, it actually
irritates
like
you.
to me now. I'm like very I can seep into that very easily, and now that I'm a bit self-aware, I know that of myself. So I kind of like.
Was it
knock
soothing
back.
to them? It must have been soothing to your parents.
Honestly, I think that they had. This is like. I think they had problems, and they're just trying to distract themselves from their problems. That's what I think.
Because you can't really so be in the moment with
You
it.
can't be in the moment. Like I never had a heart like I saw you and your brother. Oh God.
What?
Saw you and your brother the other day, and you guys embraced. You hugged like a deep, long hug, and I was like, I've never done that with anyone in my family. Ever.
You've done that with me? Is that not me? Okay, interesting. Yeah, I hugged you for like a good minute.
No. When?
Yes, I have. I hugged you for a good minute.
When?
I don't remember, but it was it happened.
Maybe on my wedding. Yeah, on my wedding.
Yeah, when you're wedding,
Yeah,
I hugged you and I
yeah.
embraced. But I would say you're right. But we're very like huggy family.
Yeah. So like, and I was like, this is
We're
twisted.
Filipino.
I was like looking. I was like, why are you guys hugging for so long? I was like, you guys are like squealing. It was
I love my brother so much.
Yeah, I was
It's
like,
actually to a point of like, I'll do anything for that kid. It's terrible.
why is that terrible?
Because it's like he
That's-
gets away with murder because he's my younger brother.
So
It's
does
like
he
you
take
and
advantage of you?
Arlene. It's like you and Arlene.
Oh.
You take advantage of Arlene all the time.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
Okay, look.
Oh
how
my
did her life
gosh.
turn out?
Okay.
Let's ask.
I don't think that was
Oh,
the question.
for
that
sure.
I
was
don't
put.
take advantage of her.
Oh my god, you are like number take advantage of Arlene. I feel bad for her sometimes. Like he's like, oh Arlene, I have like a million things going on. Can you do this? And Arlene's,
That's
okay,
not taking advantage.
sure.
We're a team.
No, that's an advantage.
We've been
taker.
working together for so long. You know how long we've been working together for?
16 years.
More than 16 years.
20 years.
I used to work for Arlene
How'd that turn out?
As the dish
as the
dude.
dish dude.
You never worked for her.
I did work for her.
She was
She
the
was the
manager.
manager. She was
the
She never
manager.
owned the
She
company.
never owned the company, but she was the man. She was the man.
You really didn't
She
work
was the
for her.
chef. I was the dishwasher. She's like, peel these potatoes, dude. I was like, what?
So this is payback.
No, it's not payback. It's
Okay,
just-
we were
that's
going to
what
talk
teams
about
do.
warm leads
teamwork.
today.
Okay. And speaking of kitchens, they're warm. And up next, we're going to talk about warm lead conversion.
Yes, I love it.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you for listening to the Oakwyn podcast, guys. If you've enjoyed this podcast, please rate it 5 out of 5 on the podcast platform you're listening to it on. And if you are thinking about learning more about Oakwyn, if you're an agent from another office, what do we do?
You go to oakwyn.com/join and put in that message box Evolve 2022, and one of our amazing leadership team will reach out to you to book an appointment to say hello. Thanks so much for joining the
And
Oakwyn.
you'll get a free piece of mystery swag.
Oh yeah, the swag.
Yeah.
That's
don't
a big
forget
deal,
the
man.
stuff.
We're buying your love. Buying your love.
Just like in Morgan's Son, we buy the love.
That's it. Okay, so what is a warm lead, Mike?
Okay, welcome back, guys. Warm leads. What's a warm lead?
What's a warm lead?
Okay.
It's your sphere of influence or it's a referral.
So a warm lead is a sphere of influence referral. So someone that you've known from, as a friend from years of knowing each other. It could be from a different industry. I have an agent that's starting new, and they were formerly a flight attendant. So one of the things that we're doing to prepare for the transition to being in real estate is they're gathering all their contacts,
People they know, came in contact with.
at WestJet. They're getting all their leads together so that they'll be able to transition smoothly. So these are people you know from school, from past working experiences, from social life stuff, and so it's warm.
So
warm
this
leads.
is really interesting because one of my team members, Donovan, he came from a different background. One of the biggest things was, let's go ahead and take our data. I'm like, let's get your database together from where you worked, and we start to what I call farm these warm leads.
Right. I don't know why.
And he just picked up
Oh, okay.
a client
Nice.
who's person from his previous working past, like history. Why were you
No,
saying?
I was just gonna say something dumb. I don't
About
want to say
what?
it anymore. I don't want to say it anymore.
Say it.
No, I don't want to
Okay,
say
fine.
it anymore.
So the first thing he asked me, what is the first thing? Because I think you get a little nervous even because you know that lead a little bit more, like
Yeah.
on a personal
Yeah,
level.
yeah.
What is the first thing you're gonna do? And the first thing you're gonna do is build that rapport again, a
Mhm.
new rapport, a brand
Yeah,
new rapport
yeah.
with them, something that is gonna take you away from what they knew you before to you now being in a realtor position.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So you want to obviously, be able to connect with them, and rapport is very important. It's obviously building trust and kind of, let's say for example, you're transitioning from one career to the next.
Yeah.
People might have their wall up around you a little bit because you're at a different stage of life. You're doing a different business. So
Yeah.
we really need to kind of bring that wall down to build that rapport with reintroducing yourself to your friends and family and past coworkers, from being a
Flight attendant.
flight attendant,
Yeah.
to being a realtor.
Yes, to being a real estate professional. And so what you're going to do with that rapport is you're just going to really get to know them, get to know their story, get to know
Yeah.
their goals, get to know what their family's main mission is. And
Yeah.
I think from there, you really will kind of put them into a place where you know, okay, this person's kind of in this part of their journey. Where do I fit in on it?
So asking a lot of questions.
I think another one is don't assume that you have the business right away. It's
Yeah.
all about prep, guys. Yeah.
For sure.
So prepping yourself to take a second and say, okay, like for instance, Donovan, this person who called, the first thing was, okay, I know him, but I need to know the product. I need to know what they're looking for. I need to know what this value of this commercial home is,
Yeah.
right?
So you don't want to, just because they might be your cousin, they
Yeah.
might be a friend from doesn't guarantee you the business 100%. Like
Don't assume it.
Don't assume. I've had lots of my personal friends and family not use me as their realtor,
Yeah.
which is kind of like, you feel.
I mean, I heard why they don't use you, but
Oh, yeah,
anyways.
yeah.
Yes.
Like, can you tell me why? Because they don't talk to me anymore.
It's also, you're right. It's
Yeah.
like you don't want to assume that that business is going to come to you.
Exactly. So you need to demonstrate value. You need to do everything
Mm-hmm.
correctly. So I know a lot of people that have this laissez-faire attitude,
Yeah.
like, hey, I'm meeting a friend. Like, of course I'm going to be able to list their
Yes,
property.
exactly.
And I've been on the other end of the spectrum where I was the professional, and then so one of my first clients, his sister was a realtor.
Right.
And we both competed for his listing, and I won the listing. And his sister was a realtor that wasn't even going to charge him commission.
Yes.
And but he's just decided. He said, "I
It's
know
the
you're going to
biggest
do a better
asset.
job. She sold this to us and didn't read the strata documents, and this is the reason why we're selling is because she didn't read the strata documents.
Yes.
And so I didn't want to use her again, even though I have to pay you." And I was like, okay.
But also, I think one of the big things is immediately when I hear it, people say, oh, well, they're a friend. They're going to use me. Okay, well, have you asked that question yet? Have you said to that person, hey, so I know you want to list your property. Thanks for inviting me to come and do the CMA for you. Are you actually speaking to anybody else? Ask that question, because I think a lot of people forget that they might be speaking to 4 or 5 other
Right.
people. So
Yeah.
prepping for that is super important.
Totally. And that is absolutely key, because you don't want to just assume that, the business is going to be yours just because it's your uncle. Like, you have to
No.
demonstrate value. You have to prove that you're the best person for the job. And, and that's really important.
That's really important. And then fourth, you're going to basically book an appointment.
Yeah.
So whenever you do meet with a friend or a colleague and they say, hey, you know what, I'm thinking actually maybe buying this new investment property, take that as like an opportunity for you.
Yeah. So don't do anything too different from your normal practice.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, we're like, oh, it's a friend of mine. I'll just send him some listings and tell him to go on his
Right.
own.
Treat it like a business transaction.
Treat it like, real professional.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Book the appointment for them, sit down, give them all, don't assume that they know everything about buying or selling just because, you want to be informative. You want to kind of guide them through the process. So they feel that you're really doing a great job. I've worked with some of my closest friends, and I just tell them out of the, build some rapport with them. I tell them out of the bat, when I'm your agent, I'm going to
Yes.
do it like I'm your doctor. If I was your doctor,
Yeah.
I would have no emotion and do it correctly and professionally. And they actually really appreciated that. They were like, that's awesome. And they're like, I've never seen this side of you. You're normally just such a weird guy that no one really liked so much. And I'm like, yeah, thanks. But like they're like, but you're a good realtor.
I've only ever gone to matinee movies with you.
Yeah, exactly.
And you snuck that popcorn in.
Yeah.
I think you need to always just make sure you bring your best game to whether it's a warm lead, a cold lead, it's a professional and it's your business. So
Right.
making sure that they value you as a professional. And then the last thing is obviously follow up, follow back, right?
Yeah.
So making sure you follow up, follow through, as we mentioned with the cold leads, it's all about that follow through. It's never going to be just a one-stop shop. You have to make sure that you build that relationship to get that business.
Yeah. So we did so Ryan Serhant did a really cool talk with us, and he introduced this concept called following back. So everyone knows what follow up is. That's following up with things you're going to do, following up with, clients to check in with them to make sure they're okay.
Yeah.
Following through is obviously you say you're going to do something to do it. Following back is something that's really imperative when we talk about warm prospecting, which is previous clients, people that you've worked with in the past, people that have interviewed you and not given you the business. Follow back with them and check in with them, see how they're doing.
Yes.
Whether that's annually or quarterly or biannually, checking in with them to make sure that they're okay in their properties. Are they interested in learning more about new regulations that are coming up, or offering your services, offering different opportunities, offering different information?
Yes.
So you want to do that on a regular basis. So that's following back, which is a huge part of warm prospecting and warm lead conversion, is going back to your past clients, looking at them, giving them a call, meeting up with them for coffee. Like, I'm going to the driving range.
Say
with one of
hello.
them. Yeah.
Appreciate them, which is really important.
Appreciate them, for
Appreciate
sure.
them.
Yeah,
Appreciate
gratitude.
for them to come together and to be loyal, because
Yeah.
that takes time. Well, that is it, guys. So to go over warm lead success, to get success in that warm lead category, you're going to want to define who that lead is, build that rapport. Do not assume that anyone is there to just give it to you, and make sure to prep, book an appointment, and follow back. And that's it, guys. Bye.
You seem like you're in a big rush.
I have 10 minutes to do another thing.
Okay. And on that note, guys, thanks so much for listening to the Oakwyn podcast. If you've enjoyed our podcast, rate us 5 out of 5 on the podcast platform you're listening to it on. And if you're interested in learning more about Oakwyn, what do?
We go to oakwyn.com/join and go into that message box, Evolve 2022, to get a mystery swag piece and to hear from one of the Oakwyn representatives.
Okay, till next time, guys. Thanks so much for listening.
Thanks, guys.